mean, I thought it was a great crowd today. I thought it was a really good game between two good teams, and we just couldn't do enough to get over the hump and beat them. You know, I told the players in there, if we were coming into this thing 9-0, I would have said this is why we scheduled this game, you know, because this is like an Elite Eight game or a Sweet 16 game, you know, and it feels a little different because we felt like we're scratching and clawing a little bit, you know, coming off of 2 losses, but I don't want the message to be lost, which is we played a lot better today. You know, I think we did some high-level things. We just couldn't make enough plays to get over the hump, but I was proud of our effort. I thought we did some improving from last time. I thought some people stepped up. I thought Gray was terrific. You know, and there's nothing to do but get better and get ready for a stretch run in the second half of the season that's going to define our season. Whereas I think these last 3 games won't end up defining our season, except in how it's helped us to get better.
Can you talk a little bit about how you guys would get a little bit of momentum, but not enough to get the lead? You guys could, again, get over that.
I'm very happy with how my team played today because a few games back we would have cracked. So just staying together the whole time, even if we were down, was still like a good improvement for us. I mean, it's sad that we didn't win the game. We really want to win it, but clearly we see some stuff that we still need to work on.
I mean, we couldn't score. You know, we couldn't get enough baskets at crucial times, even though we were getting some stops. And I thought they made more timely baskets, and I thought that was the big difference.
I think it was just the missed layups down the stretch where we were cut it to 8 and we just
Yeah.
couldn't put it in.
I mean, we cut it to 2. I felt like it was a 2-point game for like eternity, and no one could score a basket. I think our 2-point percentage was the difference in the game here. I mean, you know, 33% from 3 is good enough, you know, for us to win the game. And I thought we just couldn't get over the hump. So when we were down 2, I felt like we couldn't, you know, take that lead. And then definitely when we were down 8, I think there was like 4 missed layups in a row that obviously at the end of the game was a difference maker.
How much early, the turnovers early, I mean, I think you guys had 8, like, not even the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
How much of that was that scratch and claw? It looked like there was a little bit of pressing involved, like, you know, you guys are coming off 2 losses and you want a good start, and there seemed to be
Yeah.
pressing there.
I get that part of it. I think is more credit to them. I mean, I think that's what they do. They turn you over. They're kind of that sort of that front line pressure is really tough, and once you break it, then you get some good looks. But we knew coming in. I thought at the beginning of the game, I mean, every time we got a shot off, we scored. But the other times we turned it over, I thought giving them, you know, some open looks from 3 early and not getting enough looks at the basket put us in a hole that really, I think then we outplayed them the rest of the first half until a couple timely 3s at the end. But it just wasn't, you know, you can't do that with such a good team, and we let them, you know, we focus so much on taking away what they do well, and we just had a few slip ups, and those early turnovers were definitely part of that.
Reshanda, how difficult is it? You guys are, without Courtney, you're down to nine players now. Just in general, how difficult is it to practice and then come out here and play a team like Louisville that's, you know, good bench?
Of course it's hard losing a key player who's a part of the team, but at the end of the day, we still got to keep it moving. And like we can't stop playing our band. That's just because somebody's out. So just give other players an opportunity to step up.
I thought we had a practice squad this week that simulated Louisville as well as we could. So it's not, the numbers don't hurt us in practice. I thought we got a lot of good reps and got better. I think it hurts us, you know, to not have a kid who's 14 and 10, right? But it's also a great opportunity for other people to step up.
I guess it's kind of part of what you say, you're playing better together.
Mhm.
Kind of get that gap game now to work it out.
I mean, we went to Kansas and we just stunk it up. I mean, we had everybody, and we had a bad game. You know, things have been easy for us. We're undefeated, and we had a tough game. You know, then we go to Long Beach and we don't have Courtney and we really don't have Reshanda, right? And we still had opportunities to win the game. You can't turn it over 31 times. You can't, you know, give up 20 offensive rebounds. But I think all of that happened, and then we get to the point where we are today. And I thought we were a better team today against a really good team, you know, and those are the things that we want to look at and build from. Who wants to be on a 3-game losing streak? I mean, not me. That said, I think we can define what happens going forward, and I think it's going to be a really, really interesting end of December and beginning of 2015, and I'm excited. And when we eventually get Courtney back, it's only going to make us a better team. I mean, even Jeff before the game is talking about, obviously she gives us a different dimension, but she's out, and we're really fortunate that she's not out for the whole year. And when we get her back, I think we're going to be even better.
Reshanda, you talked about being sticking together and playing together even when you went down. How did you guys stay together this game as opposed to the beginning?
We just we stay together by not just getting it down on ourselves, and if one person do something, we try to get them out of that slump. Just give more to the team instead of just taking things away. Because from previous games, like we was watching film, and in film we can see like the stuff that affects us on the court. So we just had like a meeting and talked about team chemistry on and off the court.
Lindsay, I know you guys like to run, and there was a lot of pressing today. I mean, does it worry you going into a game like that, knowing that you're going to have 4 players that maybe play 34, 40 minutes at a time?
No, I mean, you go with what you think is the right thing. We have confidence in our bench, different kinds of games. And I thought Justine gave us great minutes tonight, and because they're a big team and we want to go bigger. I think Nina's going to be really capable. She hit a big 3, but in a game like this where they're going to get you if you have a mismatch, or they're going to get you if you make a mistake, I felt more comfortable, to go to a shorter bench, and we won't always do that, but when we do, I look at box scores all the time of other teams. Some people, go deeper, some don't. I think you have to figure out what is the right thing in the moment for that team, for your team.
Do you think fatigue maybe played a role, especially with Brittany? She looked pretty tired there at the end, and she didn't really come out in the last minute.
I mean, I think Brittany's a really, really high-level player. I think there's a lot on her plate all the time. I think she handles that really well, and she's in the best shape of her life. But yeah, it's a lot, on her to play major minutes. But Sarah played 37 for them, and Jude played 36, and I'll take Brittany in a sprint at the end of the game over anybody. Just got to make sure we all continue to make high-level plays against really good teams all the time.
And so you're evaluating Louisville a little bit in terms of, Shawnee's gone, so maybe the spotlight's not on them, but they're now 11-1.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good.
They're a really good team. Even Jeff said, I think everyone thinks they're probably better than everyone expected them to be, simply because they lost just one of the most dynamic players in women's basketball, and he's playing 2 freshmen a ton of minutes. So, credit to their staff. They're only going to get better still. I think the role players are playing their role really well, and I think their young kids have stepped up. So I think they're a legitimate, top team, and then he is able to kind of manipulate the game with his changing defenses and stuff to give his players a really good shot to win. He's an excellent coach. And I had, the chance with USA Basketball to, spend some time and see it up close. And this is, you try to learn from other really good coaches around the country, and I think he's one of them. And I'm not worried about their ability to compete, at the highest level. And I think there's a lot of teams in this country right now that have to figure out their way to get elite. And I think we're in that group. Have we played well the last 2 weeks? No, we haven't. But there's no question in my mind that we're going to be better going forward with the combination of pieces we have. And it's my job to figure out, the best way to play to have us be successful.
Lindsay, how many, if you had your brothers, how many players would you like to have on the squad in a given season?
12 or 13, maybe.
So this is unusual. It's kind of a blip for you then?
Yeah, when I got the job, we had no seniors leaving, so we didn't bring anybody in, and that worked out well for us because then we had the same team coming back, and and we won a lot of games and went far in postseason. So yeah, each year we kind of evaluate it on what seems right.
You said it's not a problem really, but are there any, just for practical matters, any issues with only having 9 players?
In practice,
Just overall,
right?
just
So the
practice.
9, right? So the 9 or 10, it actually makes practices smoother because when you have 5 guys on the other team, now you're subbing and everyone's in practice. If you have 12 or 13, it's hard to get reps in practice. So practice, it works out well. If I had Reshanda starting and Reshanda, twin coming off the bench and, the triplet as the 7th player off, sure, right? That's good, but I don't think, numbers an issue. We need to get the players that we have functioning the best possible way. When we went to the Final Four, we had 10 players on the team. Ace might have been as valuable as anybody, but I don't think she ever subbed in a game in meaningful minutes. And then Michaela was spot, minutes and Hart was spot minutes, I think we went 7 deep with that team with an occasional 8th. But that team was constructed such a way that, you know, when it was a Michaela game, she came in and make big shots. Then she didn't play for 2 or 3 games. Then she came in, and I think we're going to get there because we have a lot of different pieces. But that team actually had, in some ways, less depth than this one. Some ways.
Which ways? In which ways?
There were 10 people, and one had 2 ACL surgeries in her career, right? And there were less kind of interchangeable parts. In the more post players kind of cycling through.